Good morning, everybody. Welcome to ASMR with the bear. I'm the bear. How you doing this morning? I just dragged my lazy ass out of bed and had to have a cigarette. And my drink of choice, which is, of course, a Diet Coke. My kind of breakfast. Today, I have a question for you. Who amongst us will admit to reading the headlines on the covers of tabloids while you're waiting in line at the supermarket checkout? Me, I not only read them, I buy them religiously every week. The Globe, the Examiner, and of course the National Enquirer. I consider them to be comic books for adults. And where else do you read comic books? In the bathroom, of course. So today I thought we would browse some of my favorite magazines or tabloids and see what kind of interesting stories we can find. Are you ready? Are you sure you're ready? Ready or not, here it comes. Okay, let's thumb through the pages and see what jumps out at us, shall we? Okay, here's one. Charles Manson's twisted marriage. Yeah, can you believe? Murderous Charles Manson has seemingly tied the knot with a modern flower child who is now flashing a wedding ring. The 26-year-old who calls herself Star. Isn't that precious? And the 80-year-old convict were approved for a marriage license last month by Corcoran State Prison officials. But Manson and his bride, whose real name is Afton Elaine Burton, will not be able to consummate their union because the crazed cult leader is forbidden conjugal visits. Isn't that a shame? Meanwhile, Star's dad, Philip Burton, 45, of Bunker Hill, Illinois, is furious with her decision to wed the mastermind of the savage 1960s Tate LaBianca murders. Burton says he and his wife Melissa would have ended the relationship, but we couldn't. She was already 18 by the time we found out. Excuse me. Starr insists 5'2" Manson is innocent despite his conviction for ordering zombie-like followers to slaughter 7 people, including pregnant actress Sharon Tate in 1969. She claims she fell for him because he is dedicated to saving the planet and works for an environmental group from behind bars. Well, I always knew environmental groups were a bunch of wackos. The fact that they would accept Charles Manson into their fold, well, that just proves it. I'm completely with him and he's completely with me, says the long-haired brunette who changed her name at Manson's request. It's what I was born for. I don't know what else to say. Sources say Starr is similar to pretty Susan Atkins, a Manson follower who was also convicted and jailed for the cruel helter-skelter murders. Burton says his daughter first learned about Manson while doing a high school project. She began writing to the bloodthirsty fiend and at 18 moved to Corcoran, California to be near him. Burton says he's spoken with Manson on the phone and believes the monster's pipsqueak size gave him a Napoleon complex that drove him to become this big personality. Burton's sole comfort is that the marriage will never be consummated, saying it's never going to develop into a full-blown relationship. Well, dear God, I hope not. There's something truly twisted about anybody that would marry Charles Manson. Forget for a moment that he's a homicidal maniac. Have you seen his picture lately? Dog ugly. Okay. On to our next story. Oh yeah, here's some good ones. Who's your daddy? Chelsea Clinton paternity bombshell. Ooh. Shocking claims emerged this year that Chelsea Clinton was not fathered by ex-President Bill Clinton. Sources say the former first daughter is actually the product of an affair Hillary Clinton, 67, enjoyed with her law partner, Webster Hubbell. Right-wing activist and Clinton researcher Robert Morrow insists the earth-shaking claim is true. The Clintons' greatest shame is Chelsea is the biological daughter of Webb Hubbell, declares Morrow. Sources note Chelsea, 34, bears an uncanny resemblance to Hubbell, 66. More evidence to back the astounding claim comes from former Bill Clinton aide Larry Nichols, who says Bill, 68, confessed to him in 1984 that he couldn't be a father because a bout with the measles left him infertile. Webb sired her, Bill allegedly told Nichols. Meanwhile, Hubbell has 4 children with his wife Susie. Chelsea, who married Mark Mezvinsky in July of 2010, gave birth to a daughter, Charlotte, on September 26th. God, can you imagine being born into that family? Damn, my cigarette went out. Oh, here's another paternity story. Redhead Harry demands Charles take DNA test. In a stunning world exclusive, Globe revealed Britain's Prince Harry is plagued by doubts about his lineage and has demanded Prince Charles take a paternity test. The ginger-haired royal, 30, has long been rumored to be the result of his late mom, Princess Diana's, forbidden affair with dashing red-haired army officer James Hewitt. Harry's been dogged by whispers that he's the illegitimate son of Hewitt, and he's masked the pain in the past with alcohol and even drugs. I feel so sorry for him. Not. He feels he has to have this burning question finally answered. He told pals that he went to Charles and flat out demanded that he take a DNA test to end the speculation once and for all. Adding fuel to the rumors is Harry's undeniable resemblance to Hewitt. It's incredible, says a palace source. From the light reddish-brown hair to the eyes and body language, the similarities are uncanny. Well, let's see. You can either be related to an attractive, handsome army officer, or you can be related to a troll like Charles and have all the wealth and privilege that goes along with being a royal. I'll take ugly Charles, thank you very much. Okay, and here's another one. I don't know if any of you have ever watched the show, the FX show The Shield. Well, the headline is TV cop busted for killing wife. TV cop Michael Chase is accused of murdering his wife April in cold blood on May 19th. Worse yet, cops say he pumped her full of bullets while their 2 young sons, Nene Nehemiah 8 and Caleb 5 were in their Los Angeles homes. Where do these people get these names? Dear God. Authorities add the 52-year-old actor was out of work, bankrupt, and flat broke, and he argued with his 40-year-old wife before he whipped out a gun and shot her dead. The Shield star called the 911 afterwards to say his wife had been shot. Neighbors heard the gunfire and also called police, who revealed April's bloody body was laying in a hallway when they arrived at the scene. Lawmen confronted Jace near the home, and sources say he confessed to the killing. But on June 18th, he pleaded not guilty and was held on $2 million bond. He faces 50 years to life if convicted. Okay, time to move on to the next titillating story. And of course, you know, everything they print in these magazines is true, right? Uh-huh. I don't know how many of you out there are or were Joan Rivers fans. Personally, I was. I thought she was a hoot. I got a kick out of her. And I was sorry to hear of her recent passing. This article is titled, "Griffin to Keep Rivers Bite." What's he doing? What's she doing? Taking her false teeth? A Serbic Kathy Griffin has warned badly depressed celebrities she's going to be just as catty as Joan Rivers when she succeeds the late Queen of Mean as host of Fashion Police. "These are some big shoes I'm going to fill," says the 50-year-old funny gal. "Joan was truly one of a kind. Now I hope you will accept me for me. I'm just Kathy." Did I say I'm just Kathy? I meant I'm Kathy freaking Griffin, and you celebrities better strap yourself in, as I am taking no prisoners. I am not holding back. So damn it, let's have some fun. Griffin will co-host the E! Show with celebrity stylist Brad Goreski, who replaces original co-host George Katsiopoulos, as well as returning panelists Kelly Osbourne and Juliana Rancic. No longer weekly, Fashion will broadcast 17 episodes throughout the year, focusing on big red carpet events like the Oscars, Grammys, Emmys, and New York Fashion Week. I like Kathy Griffin. I get a kick out of her too, and I guess if you're going to try and find a replacement for Joan Rivers, she would be the one. Damn cigarette won't stay lit. Okay, let's see what else we can find in this next one. La 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 la. Oh. 84% of vegetarians go back to meat. Well, duh. I don't want anybody to be a vegetarian in the first place. I hate vegetables. If it's green, I don't eat it. I only eat meat and potatoes. I could never be a vegetarian. Anyway, the article goes, "Vegetarians tend to feel a sense of superiority, but not for long. A new study by the Humane Research Council reveals 84% of them revert to eating meat. It's obviously a negative for animals," says Shay Green, executive director of the Humane Research Council. According to the study of more than 11,000 Americans, only 2% don't eat any meat whatsoever, and 88% have never been vegetarians or vegans. And of the 12% who have tried sustaining themselves on veggies, 5 out of 6 go back to feasting on flesh. How horrible. Chicken is the most common type of meat consumed by former vegetarians and vegans, reports the study group. Reducing and eliminating chicken consumption will have the greatest impact on the number of farmed animals' lives saved. Still, Animal Lover Green looks on the bright side, saying the fact that so many people are trying vegetarianism is a higher number than I would have expected, so that's good. Vegetarians don't make any sense to me. They don't want to eat meat because they don't believe in killing living beings. Well, answer me this, vegetarian vegans. That plant you just ripped out of the ground and threw into a pot of boiling hot water was alive and growing. How do you know it didn't feel pain? Answer me that, will you? Okay. This next one, it's about the IRS. I hate the IRS. The IRS needs to be abandoned. They need to be, to me, they're the modern day equivalent of Nazi stormtroopers. And this story illustrates that. Restaurant owner's IRS nightmare. An Iowa restaurant owner is boiling mad after being burned by the IRS, which left her bank account bone dry, emptying it of a staggering $33,000 because of the way she made her deposits. Carol Hinders, 68, started the popular cash-only eatery Mrs. Lady's Mexican Food 38 years ago with her mother near the quiet vacation town of Spring Lake. Because she pulls in so much cash, it's not safe to have it lying around the restaurant, so it was her frequent practice to make deposits under $10,000. Plus, her mother had always told her deposits of more than that amount were a headache for the bank, which would require extra paperwork because it has to report deposits of $10,000 or more to the IRS. Of course, like that's any other government's business. But that was just what the agency needed to swoop in and swipe her hard-earned cash, saying Carol was depositing too little at a time to avoid the required reporting and was breaking money laundering laws. How can I be committed of a crime by depositing money that I worked for and deposited into my own bank account, she asks. In 30 years of banking with the same bank, no one ever mentioned that I was making my deposits wrong. The first she heard about her situation was when 2 federal agents turned up at her house and dropped the bombshell in August of 2013. Later, she learned the U.S. Department of Justice had filed documents in federal court to keep all her money under civil forfeiture, even though she'd done nothing wrong. Unlike criminal forfeiture, in which money may be seized after someone's been convicted of a crime, civil forfeiture means the government can grab the property it merely suspects of being involved in a crime. Incredibly, the seized money can be used for the budgets of the agency that took the money, leaving very little incentive to give it back, even when it's obvious no crime has been committed. Now Carol has teamed up with the public interest law firm, the Institute for Justice, to try to get her cash back. I don't think the IRS is interested in anything, says one attorney. They just want the money. Well, no surprise there. Okay, here's one. Entitled, "1/3 of couples are unfaithful when it comes to money." Many people who would never dream of being unfaithful to their significant other in the bedroom think nothing of cheating in the checkbook. According to a new survey, 3 in 10 people admit that they've kept cash bank accounts, bills, or statements hidden away from their partner. Then there's the 14% who say they've told green little lies about how much money they make, while 16% have fibbed about how much debt they've accumulated. The National Endowment for Financial Education study conducted by the Harris Poll says the reasons for being deceitful about dough vary widely. More than a third, 35%, say they want some of their finances to remain private. 16% are simply too embarrassed to tell their mate about their money woes, and 15% say they simply never talk about cash in their household. The survey also found that fibs about funds are as disastrous to a relationship as an affair, with 40% of those left in the dark saying it led to arguments, 33% saying it creates a lack of trust, and 13% claiming it actually led to divorce. Here's a fun one. 10 strangest laws from around the world. When in Rome and everywhere else, you better follow the law, unless they are really wacky. Here are 10 bizarre regulations from around the world that you needn't worry about breaking. Probably. How many people does it take to change a light bulb in Victoria, Australia? None. Only licensed electricians are allowed to change a light bulb, and lawbreakers face a wallet-busting fine of up to $8.75. Milan, Italy requires that citizens must smile at all times except during funerals or hospital visits, or face a hefty fine. In Florida, it's illegal to pass wind in a public place after 6 p.m. on Thursdays. You will be breaking the law if you die in the House of Parliament, according to a ludicrous law passed in the United Kingdom in 2007. Apparently, anyone who dies there, even a lowly commoner, is entitled to a state funeral. No word on exactly what the penalty is for such a scofflaw. Visiting Oklahoma? Why? I don't know why anybody would, but just know that it's against the law to have a sleeping donkey in your bathtub after 7 p.m. So bath nap time's over at 6:59 or else. By law, 1 out of every 5 songs on the radio in Canada must be sung by a Canadian. Just mentioning, Justin Bieber is Canadian. As of 2007, it's illegal to be fat in Japan. Every man over 40 must not have a waistline measuring more than 31 inches, and no woman's can be over 35 inches. That must make for some pretty skinny sumo wrestlers. Got to hit the restroom in the wee hours while in Zurich? Be advised that flushing the toilet after 10 p.m. is illegal in Switzerland, where it's deemed noise pollution. Oh, please. This is too silly for words. In Chicago, it's against the law to eat in a place that's on fire. Did Mrs. O'Leary or her cow have anything to do with this? Please be sure to check your gas gauge before hitting the Autobahn in Germany. It's illegal to run out of fuel on the no speed limit highway, and it's also against the law to walk along it if you do. You have to honk your horn and hope someone is driving less than the speed of sound to attract their attention, or face a fine of around $100. That's okay, I just heard on the news that lawmakers in New York State have now made it illegal to print selfies taken with a tiger or a lion or some other wild animal and post it on social media. Give me a break. Obviously, our lawmakers have way too much time on their overpaid hands. Okay. Here's an interesting one. Mom's third child born in the same place as second on a highway exit ramp. That's convenient. Sarah and Hugh Cam's birthing theme song should be on the road again. Sarah has now had 2 babies in their car, both on the 42nd Street exit ramp off I-80 in Omaha, Nebraska. Last year, snow and icy roads made them misjudge how long it would take them to get the 25 miles from their home on the northwest side of Omaha to the midwife's place in Bellevue, and their son Ezra was born in the back seat of their car. This year, they just underestimated how anxious daughter Evelyn was to make her entrance. I was kind of nervous because I was driving and the baby could pop out at any time, recalls Hugh, a 49-year-old software developer. He thought he could at least make it to the University of Nebraska Medical Center, but as he exited the interstate at 42nd Street, Sarah yelled, "You've got to catch her or she's going to go on the floor." Hugh pulled over in the nick of time. He stopped, reached over, and caught her real quick, says the 33-year-old stay-at-home mom. Hugh handed the little bundle of joy to Sarah, who snuggled with the newborn in a blanket, while he continued on to the midwife's place, which was now about 10 miles away. Once there, midwife Rachel Rice checked out Sarah and 7-pound, 19-1/4-inch Evelyn and found them to be in perfect health. The couple, who managed to have their first child, Ethan, in a hospital, may alter their plans if they have another baby. Quipped Sarah, "Maybe we'll just park at the midwife's place a month or so early." Oh, my stars. Well, I think that's enough entertainment for this morning. So I'll let you all go and get about your day. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to comment. Take care.